Welcome to the Lone Jack Totally Off Track podcast, a family ran show with myself, Amanda, and my husband, Nolan, and my brother, Matthew, that is, well, a little bit off track. We will cover a wide range of topics. We don't take ourselves too seriously, and you shouldn't either. Thank you for being here, and we hope you enjoy the show.
No, yeah, judge me all you want. Welcome back, everybody. This is the Lone Jack official podcast. Official. Anyhow.
It was not terrible.
Come on.
I was going to say that.
Well, you interrupted me in the start, so let's see what he can do.
I was going to say that.
You know that old clip of O'Reilly? He keeps screwing up his ad read. He goes, F it, we're doing it live. Of course, he doesn't say F it, but we can't just start with that kind of language. They're like, Bill, he's reading his ad read, and he keeps getting a tongue twister. Like, 5 seconds, Bill. We'll do it live. That's, yeah, anyway, so.
Who's O'Reilly? Like O'Reilly Auto Parts?
No,
Bill, he was a
Bill
talk show.
commentator,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I think he might be dead.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
okay.
he did die.
Did he?
I know.
I think one of those guys that Dad used to listen to died. I guess I
Mhm.
don't know which one it was. So
No, I wish those guys would have been funnier. It was always so serious. I just always tell my wife we would listen to those. Like, Dad would always have that stuff in the car, and then you'd get out of the car and be like, "We're all gonna have to kill and eat each other now." Like, this could be the end of the United States. And there was like,
And this was supposed to be a comic
no,
commentary,
commentary. I thought you
like
said
a
comic.
like a presidential, like
Yeah.
a government commentary.
yeah, they'd be
Yeah.
like, tariffs are going up,
like Ben Shapiro,
Yeah.
but
yeah, like 0.5% or whatever. Like when the people were protesting on Wall Street, they were like really big about how they were stopping like emergency services. I don't know. They were making mountains out of molehills and all kinds of stuff. But I remember like listening to that and being like, I guess this is the end of the U.S. Being like 8.
Was it like NPR?
Yeah, it was like Republican NPR.
There was like a guy that, after my brother, they sold their insulation business to this guy, and I would go to work, like I would ride with him to work because I was there to kind of teach them how to spray foam and work for him or whatever. But we would cruise around in his little Saturn car, little manual, and we would either have NPR. He either listened to NPR or like I don't know what it's called exactly, but like Beethoven or something, like you'd be saying.
Oh yeah,
whatever kind of music that is. I don't know what that's called exactly.
I think I remember that what radio station that was back there because I used to
like
listen
one
to that.
Station?
Yeah, it was.
NPR and then that. So he.
Mhm.
But the other thing I thought was very interesting, like between like a set of stoplights in Moscow, this guy would shift his car through all 5 gears and then back down. And then like several times, like it seemed like we were shifting this thing way, like, oh yeah, like like it was incredible how much
That's so funny.
he would just shift the thing, like we're going like 25 and we're doing like 500 RPMs and this little car is just cruising along.
He'd watch too much Fast and Furious. You know how their gearbox never ends in the Fast movies. They're always got the
They're always
next
just
gear
shifting.
to go to.
Yeah, and you might be doing like 150 and you shift another one and it just goes somewhere.
Yeah. You know, you got
Yeah.
18th gear. It gets you another 5 mile an hour, and it still does this to you. It goes.
this reminds me of what I thought of earlier in the week. You guys are
Okay, go for it. Go for it.
Well, I was just saying that the people that can't just watch a movie or a TV show and be entertained are the most frustrating people to watch stuff with. When they're like, "That's not realistic." I'm like, "It's freaking a TV show. I'm watching it to have fun. I'm not." Do you? I mean, like, I like making fun of Fast and Furious, especially the newer ones have gotten a little out of control.
Yeah, they go to space for God's sake.
I haven't even watched that.
They're
one.
like the diehards. Like it starts just like. Is that in The Office where they say that? Like he starts as like a normal man, okay, and he's fighting the bad guys. But then by the last one, there's what's that jet? F-18. What is it that's there? That's shooting at him, and he's got the semi truck, and it's falling, and he's jumping, and I'm like, what here. He lost his hair. He did not gain all these skills. Okay, like
the hair was gone, and then the skills they just got leached into his body.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm still very entertained by it, but I'm
Yeah.
still like, oh well, I guess it had to progress somehow. Otherwise, I
But it
mean, you
always-
couldn't have had the same.
It always progresses into more the unnatural
Yeah,
type of stuff.
but like TV shows
Let's
like
just keep the cars on the ground.
you see people like saying Yellowstone is dumb because they have have some stuff that's not realistic in there, and I'm like, it's not realistic. This is
not a documentary.
these people are actually not ranchers. They're actually just actors and actresses. I mean,
Yeah, if it was realistic, it would be the most boring show in the world. It'd be guys getting up early, drinking coffee, and then you'd watch them work for their 8 to 10 hour days, and then they'd go to bed. It's like, that'd be the most boring show.
I'm pretty sure there's people on YouTube that do that exact thing. I've never watched one, but I've seen like the day, like it's like a rancher, and he does like daily vlogs of his ranch life.
I'm not entertaining enough to have a daily vlog.
It's like, yeah, if you wanted realistic, do that. If you want to see people get murdered and stuff, hey, Yellowstone's your show.
But yeah, so I know Nolan, he's good at just being entertained. Do you find yourself critiquing things, like maybe not those specific things, but are you like, I can't think of something that would be kind of down your total cup of tea, but do you critique shows, or do you just watch them and enjoy them?
I used to, like with like war movies and stuff, you see like Hollywood's handling of guns is like crazy. You know, they have like a gun battle and somebody's finger isn't even on the trigger. I used to be like that. And then like in the last like 3 years, I've been like, okay, like you can just like, it doesn't, then I finally came to that conclusion. It doesn't have to be realistic. It can just be fun to watch. But
well, what about all the gun noises they always have in movies? Like, you can always.
Dude, somebody's always cocking the hammer back. It doesn't matter if it's a Glock with no hammer. Somebody's always cocking the hammer back.
Or like anytime like someone's holding the gun and they move around a corner, you can like hear the gun.
Your click.
I don't even know what, like, it's not even a gun cocking. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like
it's like my Nerf guns when I was a kid. They just rattle when you move them. So it's like his Glock is just, the slide is just rattling on the receiver.
He didn't quite put it back together after his cleaning.
Yeah, he missed a couple of pins.
Hey,
but
maybe they should go back to never allowing the actor to put the finger on the trigger, because apparently they're real guns and they're loaded, as Alec Baldwin found out.
Yeah. I think what stopped that was John Wick came out and they started doing like the long take like gun battles and stuff, and I know everybody always beats this over the horse, but they actually like made the actors like shoot and stuff like that. And so it wasn't like, because when you watch like I don't know, now we've moved away from it, but it used to be like a cut like every second, like in a movie. Somebody would be like in a fight scene and be like, you have like epilepsy because they'd like do like 2 seconds and cut. And so that's always been refreshing. But even, hey, to your point, even the John Wick movies got crazy. The first one was great. The second one was great. And then the third one, they're like, their suits are bulletproof, and they're just like, it just goes way out. Everybody's an assassin now. I went from like John Wick was like one of the only guys that could do it to, in like the fourth movie, everybody in the city of Paris is an assassin. I mean, so you're right. They go further like into like the realm of fantasy, which is fun, but I don't know. They lose kind of like that grounded feel.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still phenomenal. Like you say, you turn your brain off. Like in reality, not everybody in Paris is an assassin, but you turn your brain off. It's like, this is amazing.
Like the Fast and Furious movies, I don't really like. It's just like the first two, and then Tokyo Drift that I like. I guess
Tokyo Drift is the best.
One of the next ones where they're like in the tunnels coming from Mexico is kind of, they're not flying off into space or 500 feet jumps and being fine, but
driving up the side of dams on ropes.
Yeah, but they are like going through a tunnel, pretty unrealistic, like it, warp speed, basically zipping through some sort of tunnel in a mountain to cross the border, and then they blast out the other side. And
like the Mission Impossibles, They've stayed pretty much. I mean, they started off a little crazy, which
Yeah.
I think is what helped. But
Yeah.
like they've
Mm-hmm.
only progressed with like actual things that would probably progress or get better. And so
Mm-hmm.
they've stayed pretty
Yeah.
good. I mean,
When
And
he
they're a
and it
little
also
nutty, but
when he
it
jumps
also
off
helps
stuff, he parachutes.
he does like those are actual stunts that they're
Mhm.
doing. You know, there's
Yeah, they're real
I
stunts.
know that
He
they
actually
fudge
does
them a
them.
little bit, but a lot of them like I think he actually climbed that building in Dubai. Oops, I'm sorry. I got
Yeah,
excited.
and
Cut that out.
and he
I'm sorry.
there's the one where he's
did
like,
you watch final or the final reckoning or what?
it's not out.
No, it's
First Reckoning?
something reckoning.
Yeah,
First reckoning. What's it
I
called?
saw the motorcycle stunt.
Dead Reckoning.
Dead Reckoning. There we go.
Is that the one where he jumps the
Mhm.
motorcycle and parachutes? I
Mhm.
saw that, but I didn't see the movie. I just saw like that clip on Instagram. I don't. What is it? My Instagram. I watch movies 30 seconds at a time now. My Instagram reels is all like movie clips,
It just kills me. Okay, you
and I
haven't
can't
seen
look
it.
away.
You have to watch it. Okay, but it's so funny. So he's running through the streets with this lady that he's now with because she's has something that he needs anyway, and he comes to all these nice. I didn't mean for that to sound like that. Okay, it's
an audio. It's an audio format.
2 parts of the key. Okay, and she keeps stealing it because she's a like professional pickpocketer. Anyway, he comes to this line of cars and he's trying to find his
It's like a safe car or whatever.
yeah, his safe car. And there's like a bunch of nice cars there, and he is thinking it's gonna be one of these like I don't know what
Aston Martin.
is. That what most? That's what they are. They're like that.
Something like
that variety.
Mm-hmm. Luxury brand.
Pushes it on his phone, and he's like getting excited, and out pops this like Yugo sort of a thing.
It's like a old 1970s or 80s like Mini Cooper.
It
Oh,
pops
heck
out,
yeah.
and he's like, "Oh!" And so they get in, and she's on the driver's side. And
What would be our driver's side?
Yes. So.
Oh, I see. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway,
No,
they got
hold
switched
on.
around.
He goes to get in the normal driver's side, and she's the passenger. And then they look, and the steering wheel is on the right side, so she's the driver.
No, actually, I think
Right?
when he first gets in, he is the driver.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, right away he goes to turn something on, and it's
Oh,
the
yeah.
windshield wipers, and
That's
it
right.
flies off. Anyway, okay, this is going too long. Dad, I did not get Dad's storytelling abilities. My stories are all very boring. But anyway, so he's driving through the streets, okay, and he's being chased by the bad people. This car goes down this like flight of stairs, and that in itself was killing me. Okay, it's like going down these stairs, and this Hummer that the bad ladies driving is just following them. But then at the bottom, they must fall out of the car or something.
It flips or something.
And
Right?
it rolls. It starts rolling. So they switch seats. So now she's the driver and he's the passenger.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Go, go, go!" Well, I don't know what happened.
Like, well,
she starts just going in like a donut.
this is like I think it's an electric car, and this thing has an insane amount of horsepower for the size of car
it's like they're just going in a circle, and in the theater I was just dying. I'm sorry, okay? If I'm in a theater, I laugh way too loud, and this was just killing me.
It was pretty funny
because it was so funny. And watching it over, we've watched it I think like twice since the theater, and it still kills me every time. So if you don't watch anything else, just watch the yellow car chase scene, okay? Because it's so funny.
I like that. For theaters, I went and saw that movie A Quiet Place with my buddy Cooper when it came out in the theater. And I don't know if you saw that one, but it's like aliens land on Earth and they're attracted to sound. They're blind. They're like these weird big 4-legged creatures. And so it's
Creepy.
like it's like 5 or 10 years after they first landed. So a lot of humanity is dead and people have to live in silence. So they do like hand language. They do sign language to each other. And they just have to like stay quiet, and they live like in really rural places, and there's really not a lot of talking. And so the movie is very quiet. It's very tense. It's a pretty good film if you guys want to watch it. It's not scary, but it like I said, it's a really quiet film. And like one of the most quiet scenes where they're like creeping around, and one of the aliens is like looking for them. Somebody in the theater farted. and I could not take the rest of the movie seriously. Everybody in the theater was laughing so hard. I don't really remember the second half of the movie because, like I say, it was like dead silent, and somebody let a river out. And man, Dad's right. There's nothing funnier than a fart. Oh my.
Oh, that's terrible.
I mean, so then the movie was loud because everybody was dying, and then it would slow down, and then it'd get real quiet, and somebody would chuckle again because it'd be like, if they farted again, it would be even funnier.
What do you think the person that actually did it was humored with all this?
No, I think it was just a panic fart. I don't know what happened. I think it had to have been an accident. I don't know because it wasn't like a Fast and Furious movie. You could get away with that, but like a movie that's so quiet and tense, like you could have heard a pin drop, let alone somebody blow a biscuit. You know.
We're hearing everyone eat their popcorn.
Yeah, it was in anyway, but
real quiet like that.
That's the one with John Krasinski, right?
Yes, and I think
Blunt.
is it actually his wife? Is Emily Blunt? I know in the film that's his wife.
It's one of them like produced it or directed it or something like they're. Maybe it's Krasinski's movie. I don't know.
Okay, well, it is scary. Okay, because I've seen a scene from it, and the little boy is playing with his toy, and it's making noise, obviously. And I was trying to figure out how he even had a toy that made noise when they had to be quiet, but the comments did not help me. Anyway, and
this
so
was one of your 30-second Instagram movie clips.
Yeah, and so then John is like running because he's trying to get this toy, and this alien just snatches the kid, just gone. I was like, I was just trying to have a nice day.
His version of scary and yours must be different.
My version of scary.
He watches like actual horror movies. Speaking
you know what
of
the
that kind
scariest movie I've ever seen was? It was called Yellow Brick Road. That movie had me screwed up for like a month. Like I could not sleep right. That was like the most like tense and atmospherically scary movie I've ever watched. So if you want to see something truly scary, Yellow Brick Road.
Remember when we went to... I won't be watching that. I could hardly handle the 30-second clip of the little boy being snatched.
And I know what you're going to say. We watched that one movie where the guy has the multiple personality. Split.
Yeah, she
and
tells
we're
me,
sitting
she's like,
there,
I don't know why Matthew took me to
we're
that.
sitting there and all the commercials are like these horror movies. And I'm like...
What are we going to watch?
What are we watching here? Anyway, and that movie was okay until the end. It got real weird when he turns into like a animal kind of a thing.
The Beast.
Yeah. But we went to see Oppenheimer in theater, and all the commercials were horror movies again.
You're
and
like,
I'm thinking,
no!
Flashbacks of like, okay, the last time the commercials leading up, but it's obviously not a horror movie, but I didn't know what they had put into Oppenheimer. I'm like, am I needing to leave? They were probably just trying
a horror movie.
Well, I mean,
if you want to get philosophical about it,
not in the way that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Anyway,
I'm just saying, for some people, it was a horror movie.
Mm-hmm. We watched a movie called Until Dawn, and it was
is another one like Peanuts for you. You probably should just stay away from it entirely.
Yeah, and
it was a horror movie.
There's some kind of inside joke here, though. We're not.
His accent when he says peanuts, it does not sound like peanuts. And then him saying horror, it sounds like horror movie.
Our dad calls it horror films. It's like he says it like HURRA, horror. He calls it, I don't want to watch no horror movies.
He doesn't want it to sound like, he doesn't want people to mistake what I'm saying. Now people are going to think, what are these people watching?
But that could bring us back to what we were talking about before we started.
Well, I was trying to collect my thoughts because we had an X-rated intro to this topic, so I've been trying to think of how to tone this down a little bit.
What are your thoughts on, I don't know, what are your thoughts on those kind of books? We were talking about women's books that they read these days.
Yeah, we're talking about
filled with smut, but not just like he kissed her and gently pushed her up against the wall. Like,
yeah.
Pretty
it's
rough
not
stuff.
It's not grandma.
Matthew
it's not grandma's version of romance.
read us part of one, which will forever change our relationship.
Yeah, no, it was like, yeah, it was not like reading anyway. But no, so I was exposed to the book talk. I kept getting recommended, 'cause I like books. I got recommended a bunch of stuff on Instagram, and it was all like these female creators that do like book reviews, being like, "Oh my gosh, I blushed on page 84 of this book," and I was like, "Okay." And then eventually, like the one book everybody was talking about was a book called Haunting Adeline, and about how crazy it was. And so I was like, how bad can it be? It turns out, so I got it, and it turns out it's really bad. And what made me want to bring this up is books don't have like ratings on them. So like movies, they have like a R rating. Video games, you could, like bottom corner, you can't buy this if you're not a certain age. It's like books, if you don't like look it up, like somebody's kid could get like Haunting Adeline or one of these books, and if you read the first like couple pages or the back of the book, like it doesn't have anything. That's not true. Some of those books, usually in the first couple of pages, there'll be like a warning of what this book contains. But I don't know. Mom would always just flip open to a random page and read it. And if she was unlucky enough to get like a page that didn't, have something vulgar on it. I only know that because I got a Bourne book once that had a lot of really graphic sex in it, and Bourne, like Bourne Supremacy. So it's like a spy thriller. And so anyhow, yeah. And what brought this up is because these books are popular. The section I was reading, they were on the end caps at Target. I went to Target for the first time, unattended, without my wife. So I went to the book section, and it's like they're on the end where somebody can just pick them up, and they all have very unassuming names. I don't know. The one I was reading, you guys, was called like The Ritual or something like that, which is a weird name, truth be told. But you wouldn't necessarily pick that book up and think it's about a demon that's otherworldly, stalking a woman and making her fall in love with him.
But like even the Haunting Adeline, like that's not what I would have thought it was. Like you said what it was about, and I was like, oh. I mean, you gave it to me to read, and I don't read, and I'm glad I did not read it. But like that, I would have thought, like I would have definitely thought it would have been a horror of sorts. Like
exactly, because it is.
But I guess it kind of is. But
it is a horror book.
Well, yeah, which I've been trying to think of a way to say this diplomatically, but Haunting Adeline is like a SA fantasy, where that's like very glorified, and it's kind of disturbing. That book.
I'm not sure why anybody would like that, honestly. That's so weird that people would be like reading that thinking, this is so great, I love this, and be like, actually that's awful.
And the B plot to that book is she's trying to figure out who murdered her grandmother. And that was so much more interesting than Zayd hunting her at a carnival and like stalking her and doing other things. I was like, who murdered your grandma?
Probably
but anyway,
stalker.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. And I know that, so that's like the extreme end, of course. So that's probably what's getting all the attention. But like somewhere in the middle is like A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is like.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm done.
Pause for edit. Which is like a lot more of like a reasonable kind of smut. It's like more of like in a fantasy setting, kind of like Outlander or like Bridgerton, where it's maybe more towards like PG-13 rather than like X-rated stuff. So I don't know. To each their own, but I think you should probably be a little bit more. Get something on the cover of the book that shows people that this is not for young adults.
I can't even buy NyQuil. Not that I buy NyQuil anymore, but I couldn't even buy NyQuil without showing my ID. But what if like younger girls are buying that? That's terrible. I mean, whatever.
I'm sure they do it for a reason with the names.
Well, yeah, because if it actually had it,
well, yeah, because they're not putting 50 Shades out on the end caps and letting anyone.
No, they actually aren't.
That.
They aren't putting that on the end cap.
Like even when that one came out, I don't know what everybody's like.
That one didn't get popular till the movies. I mean, I'm sure it was.
It was popular.
Well, I know,
because I knew a lot of people that were reading it long before the movies came out, and they were all like Christian people. And I'm not usually here to tell you what you should be doing or not doing as a Christian, but if you're a Christian lady and you're reading that and you're thinking, this is going to really help my marriage or something, I think you need to maybe read a different book. Maybe one with, you know, a 5-letter title, Bible. That might help you out a little bit more than 50 Shades of Grey. I'm just saying, like, it's crazy. We had people in our class, like, or not our class, but in our school that were reading it. And I was like,
Reading that as a kid is insane.
What?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like
not
older.
college,
No, like older. The older.
but still like high school or less.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were reading it and they thought it was amazing. And
I'm
I
sure
was
they
just
did.
like, even then, I was like, that sounds stupid. And then Nolan, he's like, these movies are great. I watched the movies. They were stupid too. And
Did you just out Nolan?
yeah, he has terrible taste in movies. My movie taste is way better.
What?
And also, I can just have this on. I'm just gonna put this out there. I despise Dakota Johnson. Okay, despise her. And Nolan knew that. And when we were dating, he says, "You know who you look like? You look like Dakota Johnson." And I could have just killed him. I could have just straight up killed him. I was like, "What?"
You've
Like,
hit a
even
nerve
if
and
that's-
we've gone off topic.
Even if that's a compliment, I don't like her. Okay.
Only because she's in those movies.
No, her whole personality and the way she talks and her face, everything is just, she's just annoying. So I can't really think
I'll put it on record. I would not watch the movies now.
There we go. So, I could read kind of whatever I wanted, except I was reading a Western novel one
I didn't
time.
know that was bad. Sorry.
I was reading this Western novel. I can't even remember which one it was. It wasn't like Louis L'Amour or something like that. It was a more modern one. And Mom was reading it. She read like a chapter, and they used the word bastard like twice. And she's like, "This is not okay." So I had to take it back to the library, and then she had to like proofread all the books I was reading. So then I started reading Tom Clancy, which had nothing bad in them. Which that's a joke. If you ever read Tom Clancy, they're pretty like adult political books. And
Okay, I was like,
but it's like that was funny.
Read these like she would read them from cover to cover before you.
She would read a little more than like a couple pages, and then I was like, well, I'll just get a Tom Clancy book, which like without remorse, like he picks up a hooker and takes her to his island, and then she gets murdered, and then he systematically kills drug dealers, and they're all in like whorehouses and doing drugs. So that was fine, but saying bastard in my Western novel, I never got to finish how that book ended, and I'm pissed.
well, you are an adult now. Do you remember the book?
I don't remember the name. I wish I did.
I have to buy you all of them.
Yeah, probably.
all the westerns.
But and then I read like every Louis L'Amour book ever, and we watched one of the like westerns based on the book. And
is that a Louis L'Amour, the one your aunt gave me to read? That name sounds so familiar, and I don't know. He
wrote like 100 novels, and we were watching the western, and I go, "Man, I read the book that this is based off of," and there was some sex scenes in there, and Dad was looking at me, and I go, "I swear to God, none of this was in the book."
Sure.
I was like, none of this was in the book. Louis L'Amour is about as PG as it could get, and still maintain like an interesting line of like fiction.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but we got off topic. We were talking about smut. Yeah, I think that to each their own, but you should probably be careful what you're putting in your brain, because some of that stuff is a little cray cray. Mm-hmm. And by a little cray cray, I mean big time cray cray.
What book it is?
Oh, okay. It doesn't matter. It might not even be over there. It has like, it's all tattered. Like, I don't even know if it has a cover. It's probably yellowish.
Those are the best books. That old book smell.
It probably is.
Aunt gave you?
Anne. Shh. Is that it? No. That looks like something that General ate.
Aw, General ate the book. Poor book.
I think it's what was that? The healing my metabolism one, or?
General said no healing metabolism.
No metabolism's getting healed in this household.
Yeah, I feel like, some of that sounds kind of rough, like if you're reading that. But I also don't know why. Like, that's so weird to me that even like authors would try to. I mean, I guess I knew there were books that kind of had like, those kind of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But still, like, why would you want to? Trying to think of the word trying to come
I
up
would
with.
call it up the ante, like we talked with the Fast and Furious movies. You got to get bigger set pieces, more volatile plot lines, stuff like that to draw more attention.
But if you were to talk about essay in any other kind of
Medium. If you
yeah,
had I hear you. That would be insane.
but then you go read about it and think, well, this is great. Like, this is a fantasy. Like,
This
what?
is hot.
They-
I'm
The
gonna
only
recommend
fantasy
this book.
I would have about that is shooting the person that was trying to do that to me. Like,
But
that
don't
would be,
worry, they
They're
fall
trying
in
to-
love by the end of the book.
that's
In a weird
that's
way.
that's like so.
That's
like
creepy.
It's like a victim situation.
Yeah, no, it's creepy stuff,
Um,
and people are like, "That's the point of the book." If you go on TikTok or Instagram, they'll be like, "That's the point of the book is that it's dark." It's like, this is dark. This is disturbing, honey. Something's
Yeah.
wrong with you.
They're
Yeah.
trying to normalize it, is what they're trying to do. They're trying to normalize it and make it, because I mean,
But then everybody,
what-
like, if you
look
bring
what's
that
going
up,
on with all the high ups in the world. They're all getting, you know,
Mm-hmm.
accused of this type of stuff, and so I'm sure it all has.
well, then
been
why
happening,
is
and
it
so
a problem? Like, if it's just, whatever,
They're
then
trying to
why are we
normalize it
even?
because the normal people don't think that's okay.
Well, it sounds like I'm guessing a lot of these people that read these books
yeah.
are technically normal.
But that's what I mean, is they're trying to normalize it to the normal people.
I should look up how many copies got sold. Maybe I've just joined a fringe culture, and I think this is mainstream.
No, I see it all the time too, but I usually kind of just scroll
I'll put
past
on record. I don't
when
see that stuff.
when people like are talking about books. I just scroll past because I'm not a book reader, and I never probably will be. School ruined that for me. So congratulations, school. Another reason you're worthless and unimportant to attend. You ruined my love of reading that I could have possibly had.
Yeah, I can't find anything on book sales, so I'm gonna assume that this is more than a one-off. I mean, heck, it found its way to me through Instagram, and I did see it at Target. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's just kind of weird. I mean, yeah, people can read what they want, but I don't know why you would read about something that you would be like. I mean, I get it if you're reading about some kind of love story and maybe they have some sick scenes in there because they have a red room or whatever. But like even 50 Shades of Grey is such an abusive, like the way he is toward her is such an abusive use of power, and people are like, "Oh, this is fine." Well, then why did Bill
Why'd
Clinton
Harvey
get
Weinstein do-
sued
yeah.
by
Mm.
what's her face, Monica?
Lewinsky.
Thank you. I was only thinking of the green guy in Monsters Inc. there for a second, and it just really went away.
Monica Lebowski. Anyway,
That's what I was going to say, Lebowski, and I was like, nope. Anyway, so if it's like fine, then I mean, there's a lot of guys that probably could have saved a lot of time in court if that's so cute and everybody wants to read about it. I mean, come on, guys. Anyway, whatever. That's not really my vibe, so I
But
guess I
they're-
can't really understand.
I think the other thing he's saying is like they're putting women porn on the.
where anybody can grab it.
Yeah,
like that'd
on
be
the
like
end
that'd be
cap.
like putting Playboys on the
On
end
the
cap.
end cap,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
like,
Well, that's
I
what
don't
you
know.
were saying before, too, is like when Hastings was a thing,
Yeah.
like they had him
And it's
over
in
in
the
a
far corner
different spot, but
on the magazines, and they all had like plastic and covers, like you couldn't see anything of them, but they weren't
Nolan's
out
over there like, how
trying to
can I-
look through the
just
looking
take,
behind the
just take
cover.
the sheath off that one just for a minute, please.
But yeah, but then these books would be front and center for anybody to
Yeah.
grab at any age.
You don't even have to go into the book section. You just
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and look for it. It's just there.
yeah.
So hopefully all the bookstore employees, I know it's their job to be read up. Hopefully when they see some little kid bring one of these books up that they're like, nah, I'm not selling this one to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully.
But, I mean, there's so many books. I don't think they could read them all, or maybe they can open up the cover and, like I say, and in those books, to their credit, in the first couple of pages, there is like the first page is like, hey, this book contains all this stuff. You probably, if you're not into that, you shouldn't read this. But
Yeah.
then again,
hopefully, like
skip
just
the
in their
forward anyway.
hopefully they just have it like in their system, like they scan it and it pops
Yeah,
up like
18
needs to be
plus.
18 plus or something. Yeah.
I know I haven't bought one from a physical location. Maybe I should try that or ask somebody that, because I bought mine from thrift books.
Oh,
so
okay.
which was online.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it should be like 40 plus.
Yeah.
I didn't need to read what I read. I actually got it on my Audible, and then I read it. You never know what your guys on the job site are listening to. I was like, oh my God, this isn't a book. This is horrible.
You know what? That does.
It was
I
worse than
take back
American
what I said
Pharaoh.
before. I have seen somewhat videos what you're talking about, but it was the guy was like, when you're listening, it was probably 50 Shades. It's like when you're listening to 50 Shades in your car with the window down, and he's sitting there listening, and then like there's a dude on the sidewalk, and it plays whatever it's playing, and the dude on the sidewalk like turns and
leans in at him.
Yeah. So I've sort of getting into what you guys are seeing on your Instagrams about these books. Apparently it's a little different, but it is like a dude making fun of listening to a book like this in your car with the windows down and the volume up.
I don't listen to anything weird on my headphones. At any point, anyone else could listen and it would be okay.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably say the same thing. They're just going to hear Unashamed.
Yeah, the Unashamed podcast.
Probably need to hear that. The other day speaking of Unashamed, they were talking about this scientist guy that did like the 12 gemstones that are mentioned in Revelation.
Okay.
He did a test with like pure light, perfect light,
Pure
light.
They called it pure
and
light.
the 12 stones in Revelation, when they're hit with the light, they actually form like you can see like a rainbow kind of.
Okay.
Like diamonds and I'm trying to
rubies,
garnets. Like if you shine it on those, they're just like black. They look like coal.
They're just like a gray.
Isn't that kind of interesting? But like the 12, so it's like sapphire and an emerald, and I can't think of all of them. Like a amethyst and like all of those. If you look at them, they're actually
they like cast a prism.
Yeah, and I thought that was cool because I didn't know that.
Or what is it? Prismatic.
You don't have to look it up.
Well, I was going to show a picture of it.
Oh.
They call
chromatic aberration. Is that what that's called?
No, they called it.
I think that's a skill from a video game.
Refraction.
1 second, you guys keep talking. I'm gonna go get my phone.
Okay. Well, now I'm piqued. My curiosity's been piqued.
I thought that was cool though. Yeah, because I guess Jace was like, well, if I would have known, I would, I would get Missy a new wedding ring, and then I guess their cousin, like Zach, that does the podcast with them, is like, well, I'll take any of the old diamond rings nobody wants. Like, I'll collect them. Don't worry.
If anybody can afford a new ring for the wife, it's those folks.
Yeah, so Nolan was I don't know, we were talking about different.
I'd love to get my wife a cheaper stone. I don't know what she has now.
Well, the thing is it's weird. Like, are these cheaper? Like,
I think so. Then diamonds, yeah, but diamonds have just gotten popular because
diamonds they're going out of style because they're going to more and more lab grown ones or lab created ones. Mm-hmm. My mother-in-law was telling me this, and I said, I saw that movie Blood Diamond, and I didn't come out of that movie thinking, wow, the blood diamond trade is bad. I went out of it thinking, this is awesome. You're telling me this is what my diamonds have to go through to get to me? I go, I want one that somebody got killed over. I want a dude stabbing another dude with a pickaxe in the head to get the diamond to me. That's badass. That's a cool story.
What was the word you said?
Chromatic aberration.
Okay, this is...
I think that's from Slay the Spy.
Anisotropic.
Yeah. So here is what the different ones look like.
Like, it's actually what the stone looks like.
I see. That's pretty.
Wow. Focus.
There we go.
That's kind of what they look like. Emerald, under the pure sapphire. Light.
That's
so
really
they have
cool.
color like that.
Got your daily forecast on there. People know your location. Cut that out.
And then here is what these ones.
They're just kind of.
I see. Yeah,
diamond, ruby, and something else. Which it's a different name for probably the more scientific name for. But they just look.
That's
like
really
nothing.
Cool.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I had no idea, though. I'm not usually looking at gemstones under pure light
Yeah, because he
and a
said
microscope.
it's got to be under like a light that um doesn't like it is straight like a laser almost, but then it's like, you know, not red or green or whatever. And then this is like a cut of a stone in a microscope, and every single one has like, I don't know if they did say all the colors of the rainbow, but it's quite a situation.
So we always talk about favorite Bible facts, and we talked about them racing to Jesus's tomb. I'm gonna have to say one of my other favorite ones is God being like, John, remember all this, and then showed him the book of Revelation, and he's like, did you get all that? And he's like, I will show you again. I mean, Revelations is the craziest book in the Bible, and he's like, remember all this, and he's like,
Yeah,
writing
there's a
down
lot
how
in
wide
there.
the streets are, how many layers the gold is, and all this stuff. Did you catch all that? And he's like,
So yeah, because here's the different gemstones. Jasper. First foundation was jasper, sapphire, chalcedony, emerald, sardonyx, sardius, chrysolite, beryl, topaz, chrysoprase, jacinth, and amethyst. And so those 12 stones, every single one is a...
And some of them, like what was it? Which one was it? It was
like
some of those, like those are like the real big names. So like it would be like an aquamarine.
I hear you.
The beryl is like the name for aquamarine, and
I hear
like
you.
those. So like So some of them,
I haven't heard the name of any of these.
Yeah.
No. There's so many different names for the gemstones, but yeah,
that's kind of cool. I didn't know that until Nolan was saying that. That was definitely off topic, but he mentioned Unashamed, and I was like, oh yeah, that's what Nolan told me this.
That's okay. We'll ride their coattails.
There we go.
What other topics do they talk about we can snipe?
Well, they talk about Jesus quite a bit, so.
I'll say, what? Okay, well.
We had a Mother's Day party here yesterday. I know Mother's Day is today, technically.
Oh, I didn't.
But you need to text your mommy.
She knows.
She knows she's your mother.
Yeah. I sent a card. Maddie sent a card.
What?
Just he could send her a card and say from Sonny.
From
son
baby
to mommy.
Boy.
From your beautiful baby blue.
Whatever she said to baby boy from mommy.
Baby boy blue, that's me. Peep the eyes, ladies. But anyway.
What was the card to...
Ladies, you're married, Sonny.
What was the card to his father-in-law, or the gift that was meant
to
for
mom.
him?
Yeah.
To my baby boy from mommy.
Poor Dave.
Poor Dave. Okay, wait. Okay, so I went to a concert. My wife didn't come with me. This is funny. No, we shouldn't talk about this. Never mind. Keep going. What's going on with our other topic?
I don't know what our other topic was.
Well, I was just saying we had the Mother's Day party.
Oh, yeah.
We were supposed to have it this afternoon, but it's kind of crappy weather and
like 50s and supposed
Nolan,
to
I
rain.
guess, didn't want 8 of us crammed in our camper, so he's like, "Let's move it to Saturday." And so we played cornhole and ate fajitas and
played a little bit of bucket golf.
Yeah, Nolan got a new game, bucket golf, which seemed like it actually might be more frustrating than actual golf. That could be because what we have to offer here is dirt and bushes. There's not really a lot of grass. So trying to hit a ball, even though they're like wiffle balls, trying to hit a ball off of just flat, hard dirt, not as fun as it sounds.
You got to play the hazard.
It was fun. People had fun.
Got to play the hazards. Yo, okay, so we did a 4th of July event, and you guys were doing croquet, and that was the most vertical. That was the most challenging. That was the most... I don't think a pro croquet player could have done that. You're like, yeah, we're going to shoot the balls up the hill, and then we're going to come back down, and then go into this patch of grass. I was like, I was trying to play with you guys. Like, you mother effers are crazy.
I remember the last one you had to get through was impossible.
Yeah.
Up a thing, around through a thing, around a tree, and back down. And it was, I don't think anyone ever got it.
Nolan's,
I quit. I said, you guys win.
I brought that up yesterday because our little bucket golf course that we quickly threw together, like 3 holes or whatever. I was like, this is kind of like this off-road golf, kind of like how our croquet was like some serious
that was
off-road.
so funny because we got that to borrow, and so Nolan's like, what can I do to help? And I was like, well, go set up the course. And he's like, where should I put them? And I was like, wherever you want. Well, I didn't know
Preston helped me.
Well, I know, but you guys acted like you didn't know what to do, and I was like, wherever you want. And I guess I should have had more. I should have had more guidance of like maybe more flat.
It's like typically you play croquet on a fairly flat course, you know.
And that was available at that location.
Oh yeah, there was flat areas for sure, a very large flat area.
But I don't think we.
Yeah, there was a football field and a forest, and we played in the forest. Why would we play in the football field? Which it was fun. It was way more memorable than playing croquet on the football field. I'll remember that course for the rest of my life.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it was.
It's not difficult. Hard. So you got to hit it from here up the hill and then wrap the tree to get to the next stake. I was like, let's get it, man. Let's try it.
I don't think anyone finished it.
My club speed on that mallet was 100 miles an hour.
A lot of people got to the final hole or whatever, wicket, whatever you want to call them. But I don't know if anyone successfully
went in and
secured that one, because it was up like a 45-degree angle, and there was no way of the ball being held up there and then being able to hit it through it was impossible.
Oh geez. Anyway, I guess that's probably it for today. Is it not? Has it not been an hour?
It's only been 45 minutes. The time is dragging on for you.
I'm just here to sport out of my mind. No, it's been an hour 3. I was just, okay, well.
But I'm sorry. No. That's how long we talked. Now. Yeah, we're going to have to cut this out. We're going to have to go for an hour 5. We've been on the call for an hour and 3. We did the X-rated talk about book talk before we started
I thought that time was...
That's where I was. No, that's not it. No.
I see now. I see the timer. I
come
looked
on.
at the wrong one.
I
messed everything up.
You can't burn another 15 minutes just talking like this.
Well, we cut through
the book talk pretty good. Well, the family event sounded like fun. I like the idea of doing more. I don't know, like activities together at family events rather than everybody sits on the couch and has separate conversations. I'd like the idea of. We used to play badminton all the time. We had a net we could put up in our yard. You could race it up for volleyball, and we used to have a lot of heated badminton matches because I couldn't play volleyball because I was 4'1". I couldn't get high enough to stop the ball.
No, this was good. Like, everyone participated. I mean, Grandpa, he even got up and was kind of walking around with us while we were playing.
Us. Yeah, he didn't want to play, but
I offered for him to play, but he didn't want to.
Well, it's way more fun, and like for sure with like that side of the family, all 3 women don't know how to just sit and relax. So actually, if you are just sitting and talking and they're moving around, it actually just stresses me out. So it's way better to have something where we can go do something. Then they're doing something, and then we're actually having fun instead of everybody just fidgeting with stuff. And I'm like, I don't really care about hearing about living in the woods and trying to survive and eat my friends because the apocalypse is coming. That topic has terrified me since I was 7 years old. And they're like,
you know what?
We're going to be moving to the woods in the middle of nowhere. And I'm thinking, well, that sounds good. And he's like, well, we're not going to have food. We're not going to have water. And I'm like,
we pretty much are there, babe.
I was
set me up for now.
See, I realized that those members of the family were full of crap when I spent a lot of time learning how to conduct L-shaped ambushes and improvise traps, and I would buy all the military manuals and read them, and I'll watch hours and hours of YouTube footage, and then I'd come and be like, oh, you guys weren't serious about learning all this stuff. You guys are just blowing smoke up my ass. I've spent my first 5 years of life learning to be a prepper and trying to become a militant and a guerrilla to the best of my knowledge, and you guys just sat on your asses. So I was like, oh, so I wasted my time.
Yeah.
I was like, I learned you got to take out tanks by soaking a mattress in gasoline like the Mujahideen did. Like, I did all this stuff, and you guys did nothing. Like, okay, whatever.
Well, at least you were prepared.
You got some knowledge now.
Well, I forgot most of it, and anyway. But no. If we would have done, I don't know, croquet at Grandma and Grandpa's place, that would have been way more fun than talking about eating each other. And then the Obama come to put chips in our heads.
I know.
But
I was so scared about the microchips, but
oh my gosh!
I was like, are they just gonna like sneak up behind me and just like jab me, or like?
Yeah, it's like one day I'm gonna go
sign up for this.
One day I'm gonna go to school and they're gonna microchip me and I won't be able to stop them. You know what I mean? I was terrified. Like, come on. I remember one day Dad was like, "I'm done with this. Can we just live life again?"
Yeah, I'm glad when they stopped happening, because I was actually having nightmares about this.
You kids are all there just listening, like you're not doing your own thing.
No,
we weren't allowed to.
Oh,
I was like, listen to what the adults did. Well, that was after we broke the door in the basement, so we couldn't go play anymore.
I was at some point there. I was like at family deals. Ours were kind of boring too, but then we all got like PSPs, and then like 5 or 6 of us would all be linked up playing Grand Theft Auto against each other on PSP.
Well, the boys all had like the Nintendo.
We had DSs. Yep.
Yeah, and I didn't have that.
I'm sorry.
I wasn't really a.
I wasn't the Nintendo guy. I had a PlayStation.
The PSP was pretty cool.
Anyway, so yes, family gatherings. Hopefully, we can do more stuff.
Those sound way more fun than what they used to be. And
even on like Nolan's side, a couple of the people have been like, we really just need to do something, like have something to do instead of just sit there and pontificate on life. And I'm like, I totally agree. Whatever that is.
I'm going to take bucket golf wherever we go.
And if we have like a couple different options, then no one has to be stuck doing one thing, you know?
It's way better than arguing about politics. You leave having had way more fun.
Yeah.
You don't feel so like discouraged about everything. Yeah. Oh, geez. Or arguing about like whatever. Everything, it seems it's an argument, you know, whether it's about politics or God or whatever people bring up. And it's just an argument. It's not even really a conversation. It's just kind of like, I already am set in my ways and this is how it's going to be. And you're just like, okay, well, I don't even know why we're talking about this then. If you're set in your ways and I'm set in my ways, why are we even talking?
All we're doing is pissing each other off.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, it's fun. So yeah, hopefully when we have a yard and all kinds of stuff, we'll go play croquet where we don't have a yard, and
we'll go play croquet in like the densest part of our woods.
Yeah, over there we'll
see if you can even find your ball.
We'll wait till your guys' stream is running really high again. Be like, all right, you got to jump it over the stream, get to the other side,
and you play it as it lies. If it's in the water,
you're in the water.
And then the other part will be like on this really steep section to on our back part of our property where it's like straight up.
I like
down
that.
Trees and everything.
Oh, with that section that's the tall grass that when I was there was all laid over, that's slicker than hell. Trying to play croquet on that. Whoa, honk.
Yep, that's it. That's funny. Yeah, it's kind of a hazard. We kind of live in a hazard.
That's okay. That's the most fun part.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Okay, there we go. There's a more natural conclusion to the series.
Well, thanks for being with us today.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
A few days late whenever this comes out.
Thanks to all the moms. You all rock.
Well,
Raising
most of you.
Wild children.
Some of you need to do better. I don't know any of them. I'm not going to name any names in particular, but I can think there's probably somebody listening to this that you might be able to do better.
Also, if you have pets, you're not a mom. You have to have an actual child. A human child. Okay.
I'm a father to these felines.
Well,
that is my baby.
She looks just like you.
It's good that you remember to feed him a couple times.
Whoa. Yeah, well, Maddie's been gone. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We'll stop rambling.
Okay. Goodbye.